Hey guys, Fadgy5 here, and welcome back to another Pixelmon video. So today we'll be moving on to part 2 of our little basic series, and today we'll be doing how to breed Pokemon. This is just going to be the basics for breeding. Next video will be IV breeding, nature breeding, abilities, and everything of the sorts. But this time it's going to be just the basics. So first, just in case you forgot from last video, this is how you make a ranch block, which is needed for breeding. One piston, one PC, and one flower pot gives you a ranch block. And as you can see over here, I have set up a few different things, which we'll talk about in just a second. But first, I want to come over here. So, each of these blocks over here, as you can see, if we walk over this ranch block, it has a 9x9 square around it. So each of these blocks over here can be used in that 9x9 square to breed certain types of Pokemon. So as you can see, this is Bug, this is Dark, and it keeps going on. And depending on how many blocks you use, it depends on the effectiveness of the breeding. So each of these blocks that I'm showing over here are 3 or 4 values. So for example, you need 35 total, so you need at least 12 of these types of blocks to breed. For example, bug types, you need 12 mushroom blocks to make them at least start breeding right here, which would be take the longest. And as you add on blocks, it goes from less than 35, it won't breed, 35 to 69 total when you add everything up together. 2 hours and 30 minutes. 70 to 104 total is 1 hour and 15 minutes. 105 to 139 total is 50 minutes. And then over 139, so you have a lot of these, is 37 and a half, which is the fastest you can get. So I'm just going to go down the line real quick, and this is again, the best blocks you can get. Most of them aren't hard to obtain, so it shouldn't be a problem to get the best blocks. But first we'll start with Bug, which is the mushroom block, and a flower pot. Now to get the mushroom block, this is a little special block. If I run over here, you have a block up in the sky, and you dig a block 2 blocks down, right click the red mushroom, and you hit it with bone meal, and eventually this happens. Now if I go to Game of Survival with a Silk Touch pickaxe, as you can see, I can get the mushroom blocks. This works with any Silk Touch tool. It's just fastest with the axe. As you can see, I can go real quick, and you cut down the whole thing. This works with brown and red too, so that red right here isn't the only block. You can use the brown version too. Okay, let me hop back in creative. Okay, for Dark, it is coal blocks or a mob skull. Now the mob skull is 4 instead of 3, like all of these are 3. This is 4 points. Now for dragon types, it's endstone, diamond, emerald, enchantment table, and a dragon egg. Dragon egg again is 4, but there's only one of those technically in the world that you can get. I believe they're drops from something too, so you could get them that way. Okay, electric, they like PCs, so you can put a PC or a lit redstone lamp, so it has to be powered by redstone. Fairy and normal types both like cake as their best thing, so just remember that it's fairy and normal. Fighting likes any variant of stone bricks, so chiseled, cracked, mossy, and regular. Fire types like just fire, so just put a piece of netherrack and light it on fire and you'll be good to go. Flying likes dispensers or beacons. Dispensers would be much easier to craft for you, so I don't know if you want to use beacons for fanciness, you can, but flying is best with dispensers. Ghost types, they look like bookshelves, carpets, jukeboxes, iron bars, and again mob skulls, but these are all 3 this time. Grass types like any variation of things you can grow, so hay bales, jack-o'-lanterns, melons, regular pumpkin, and then carrots and wheat being grown, so it will like these too. Potatoes weren't in this list, by the way. I'm not sure why. Ground types like both hard and stained clay, so if I look and I type in clay, it doesn't like regular clay, it has to be stained, so any variation of the color. And then bedrock, which is 4, so you could use the nether ceiling if you have that available, or dig a hole and try to find a flat spot, that would work too. Ice types, just like the packed ice, which is found in the special ice spikes biome. Poison again likes mushrooms, which I showed how to get over there, and they like brewing stands. Psychic types like emerald, diamond, quartz, and enchantment table. So much like the dragon over there, but they like quartz. Rock types like coal, and stone, and bedrock, all 3. Steel types like the 2 metal blocks, gold and iron, and water types like these prismarine lanterns, which you can get from the the temples underwater, and lily pads. Lily pads obviously have to be on water. Now if I come over here, as I was showing, there's this area. It's just grass, and each Pokemon, as I showed, has a certain block they like. So if I were to take a Pokemon like Pikachu, male and female, obviously they have to be different genders for them to breed. If I were to take them and I were to put them here and I were to right click, it says they have a crush, so they will breed, but they don't feel comfortable, and that's because they don't have the blocks they like. So if I move over here to this quartz one I made, then I managed and I put Alakazam because psychic types like quartz, and I were to right click, are these Alakazams different genders? I never even checked. They are not. Let me do Pokey give Faggy 5 Alakazam, and let's just keep going until we get a female. So it might take a minute. Let's see. Female, 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 female. There we go. So if I were to go back in here and I were to remove this male and put this female, now if I were to right click on this female, it says they fall madly in love. Now that is the message you would get if you were at the total. You should always try to be at the total. These other ones are completely longer and very, very much useless. And as you can see, the male also says that. Now when they're breeding, oh hello, didn't I get rid of one of you? Oh well, let's get rid of him. Okay. So as they're breeding, if I were to go into this chest and grab just the golden hour, actually the silver ones are better for me. If I got the silver one, and they're taking the time, but if I right click with the silver, see how he has a little gray heart coming off him? Let's see if we can get it again. And if I do that over here, they'll also get a gray one. These silver ones can make breeding faster. And as it goes up, it will go from gray to purple to blue to yellow to red. When they're at red, they're ready. They're almost ready. So if I were to click this all the way up, he's at red. And I walk over to this one, they're at red, and if I were to look in the rancher, once they both reach red, you see the red hearts went away. If I look in the rancher and I right click, sometimes it doesn't show until you right click, I can claim the egg. And if I were to go in here, the egg is right here. This egg, now when you walk around with it, it will hatch. So you have to walk a certain amount of steps. There, each Pokemon is different, but just walking, flying, and things like that. But riding in a boat or minecart does not count, and if you jump, it does not count either. So you have to walk around with it. And also a Pokemon, such as if I gave myself a Pokemon give Magmar. If I were to give myself a Magmar, go in here, and I were to look at its stats. It has a ability called Flame Body. A contact with the Pokemon may burn the user, but if you have a Pokemon with Flame Body in your party or Magma Armor and you walk around, it would make the egg hatch twice as fast, so it's much faster to do it that way. Now, there's a special Pokemon in the game, and many of you know it. It's Ditto. Now, Ditto can breed with any Pokemon as long as the Pokemon can breed. So all of the legendaries cannot breed unless they have been allowed in the server or client configs, but that's something you would have to figure out yourself. But if Ditto is available to you, you can go in here, and Ditto's blocks do matter. He does not meet the like blocks of the person he's breeding with. So if I put a Ditto in here and I put a Mudkip, you see Ditto doesn't have a gender like Mudkip, but if I were to right click on Mudkip, it says his love grows rapidly every day, and Ditto, his love grows rapidly. So the ground for some reason is not perfect for them, but they will breed, and I believe that is this one, so they will take 50 minutes instead of 37 and a half. And one more thing about these ranchers that would make life a lot easier. Let me grab a thing called a ranch upgrade. This has a recipe. I will leave the recipe for this in the description below. But if I were to right click and I were to keep right clicking and just keep clicking these little minus X's and minus Z's, eventually I'll run out of that. And you can see when I fly up here that the blocks have expanded. So now if I were to take this cake and put this further out, let's see if I can get it to work. Let's see, put that out here, and then take these and put these out here. Let's see if that helps at all. Let's see. Let's try to reset them. I don't exactly remember the specifics. Yeah, see, now Mudkip is falling madly in love because I added those extra blocks outward. See, if I do that, I'm claiming those blocks, and I add those, and that added to the total score we were talking about over here. So that works. And then I think that's everything. Oh yes, one more thing. If you were to take a block, you can go 1, and if I look, you can see the little white square on top of the block. 2, you can see the little white square. But if I were to go a third block, oh, sorry, wait, it's elevated. So if I were to go a third block above this, right here, you can see it does not work. So you can go up 3 blocks from the block the rancher is on, but you cannot go any higher up for blocks to work. So technically you could have like a pattern of like hills and stuff, as long as it does not go 3 blocks higher than the ranch block. That's it for the basics of breeding. That's just how to breed Pokemon, how to use Ditto, how the blocks work, and all the block types. But I'll see you in the next one for Ivy breeding. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you do, and I'll see you in the next Pixelmon Basics video.